Welcome back to another episode of the Next Man Up podcast. It's episode 32, a day after the Nuggets won the NBA championship. Last night they won the NBA championship. If you guys watched the reaction, we got a reaction out. Very spirited, very emotional reaction to the Nuggets winning. A lot of storylines being told, but they won the championship last night. So I want to give their flowers to them for the championship win. I think a lot of narratives being put out by the Nuggets about Nikola Jokic the entire season. Especially they thought Nikola Jokic couldn't win a championship as the best player. I personally thought a center couldn't be the best player on the championship team, and he proved us wrong. He proved that he should have been MVP this season. I think that's a stretch to say, especially since how close it was. Um, but yeah, Nuggets won the championship. Jamal Murray, first championship coming out with a torn ACL, battled his way back, had a great final series. All credit to him. Aaron Gordon reinvented his game. He was a score, kind of like a number one scoring option in Orlando. Became a lead defender. He had one of the best defensive runs I've seen in my time watching basketball. He guarded KD, he guarded LeBron, he guarded Jimmy Butler, and did a great job on all of them. So yeah, that was my main takeaways though. Miami Heat AC to the finals. Gotta get they props for that. But I think coming to the series, we all knew that this is going to be a quick one. I think it's going to be competitive, but quick. Nuggets were clearly the better team. I know we reacted to the finals yesterday, so before we move on to the rest of the topics, Max, do you have anything else to say about the finals last night?
No, it wasn't anything crazy. We both said Nuggets in six. They ended it in five. Yeah, like I'm not as hard on Miami as other people are, right? For losing, I think it's just a good mean good for them for making it. But yeah, I feel like I said stuff yesterday, but there's not much to say. The better team won, in pretty dominating fashion. So
All right, so I think that one of the biggest storylines is obviously going to be where Nikola Jokic ranks all time after this finals. It's not too many people in NBA history has two MVPs and a Finals MVP, a championship, all that type of stuff. So I think he's one of the few people. I think it's like probably like 10 or I don't know, maybe be less than that. Two MVPs, a Finals MVP, and a championship. So we can start with like the question of what does this championship do for Nikola Jokic's legacy?
I mean, it's huge because it catapults it, right? It starts. I feel like getting MVPs is great. Don't get me wrong. Getting MVPs is amazing. When we talk about all-time debates and you talk about who's the best, whatever, at the end of the day, I don't think Jokic really cares that much. We saw that at the end of the game. I think you could have Jokic one, or you could have him 1,001, and he really wouldn't care any more or less about it. Jokic, I really don't think cares about his legacy at all. He's just here to play basketball and live his life. But the top guys, the people that we have in these top conversations, they always have rings. They always have Finals MVPs. They always perform in playoffs. So I think this for Jokic, at least for me, it opens my eyes um, to a new game, to a new person. Right, like Jokic can be that guy. I didn't know if he could at the start of his playoffs. Now he can. He catapults him into a different discussion of Giannis and Curry and the top guys. Where I'm coming to next season thinking that Denver has it. Right, thinking that Denver can actually win. It's not back-to-back years of underperforming in the playoffs. Right, they so close, but they couldn't make it. He's done it, and he could do it again. So I think for this, it definitely should put him. I mean, he's top two, I think, undoubtedly in the NBA right now. Whether you have Curry up there, whether you have Giannis up there, he's got to be top two. Um, and yeah, for the future especially, this got to put a hunger in all the people in Denver's heads, that they can be better, they can do better, they can get another one. They're poised for a long run, in my opinion. We'll talk about that later. With cap and with money, it's not always going to work, but I think Denver could be scary for a long time.
I think this championship definitely puts him like top 20 all the time over certain players. Like I don't want to get into like specific players, but I think for like example, he's better than Charles Barkley all the time for me. Like he just puts like he puts in conversation with like Kevin Garnett and Dirk Nowitzki and people like that. Like you could argue that he can be as low as like 17, 18. I know a lot of people see him at 20. He definitely top 25, top 20 all the time with this championship. Like I said, not too many people that have two VPs, a Finals VP, and a championship. So I think this run, it obviously catapults him into those conversations. Exactly like I did like with Giannis when he won his Finals VP and his championship when he got them two VPs. It catapulted him so much over all these other guys, especially since Nikola Jokic is one of the best offensive centers we've seen, one of the best offensive players we've seen in NBA history. This is just cementing his legacy. Like he doesn't really need to do much. After this, I feel like all he needs to do is really play out his career, and he can finish like top 15 all time. If he wins another championship, maybe another MVP, two more championships, we could be talking about like top 10 all time, especially since how great of an offensive player he is. So I think this championship just catapulted him into those conversations that we need to be having with like Kevin Garnett and Dirk, who I might lean those other two players, but those are the type of conversations we're gonna have. David Robinson type of conversations we're gonna have. Charles Barkley. Those are like not crazy conversations anymore because he has his ring, because he has his Finals MVP.
He cemented his legacy as a Denver legend, right? Forever. No matter
No,
what he does,
definitely.
if he never picks a basketball up ever again, he cements himself as arguably the best player in their history.
He is. Stop it.
Arguably the best player in that city's history, right? Like you have, he cemented that legacy for the city of Denver, for his country, right? Like he's done. He could be done, right? Like it's like Giannis, right? Giannis did that for the Bucks. He's always a Bucks legend. He's a great NBA player, right? Like he's done it. He can only add on top of his legacy, right? He's not trying to bring the city of New York back to glory or LA. He's not in this big market, right? Denver's a big market, don't get me wrong, but in the grand scheme of the NBA, it's not right. It's not LA, it's not Dallas, it's not Miami, it's not New York. So I do really think that like Jokic has pressure, I guess, to move up in the all-time ranks, but especially now, like he's cemented himself as like one of the best of our era, and especially the best in Nuggets history.
Yeah, so after this championship for me, I think I have Jokic like as far as centers all time. I probably have him somewhere around 7. After this championship, I think I have Nikola Jokic as a 7th best all time center. I have Kareem over him. I have Shaq over him. I have Hakeem over him. I have David Robinson over him. I have who else? Will Chamberlain over him. I have Bill Russell over him. But besides that, I don't think any other centers in NBA history are better than him. So, like I said, what else? So I want to get a list in my head. So my top 7 centers all time, probably in this order after this championship for Jokic, is going to be 1 Kareem, 2 Hakeem, 3 Shaq, 4 Will Chamberlain, 5 Bill Russell, 6 David Robinson, and 7 Nikola Jokic. That'll be my top 7 all time.
I have Kareem 1, I'll have Shaq 2, Hakeem 3, Bill Russell 4, Wilt 5, Robinson 6, and Jokic 7. I'm in the same conversation, same thing. I think those top 6 guys are all better as of right now. I think Jokic is very close to being on that David Robinson, right? I think he could pass him one more ring, one more MVP. David Robinson, obviously great on the defensive side of the ball. 4, I think, defensive first teams and second teams. Defensive player of the year, right? Led the league in blocks, led the league in boards. Jokic does not have that defensive style, but he's also much better at offense, right? Jokic is a much better offensive player than David Robinson. And he, as of right now, in his resume, David Robinson has 2 rings, Jokic has 1, but Jokic has 2 MVPs to David Robinson's 1. So you're looking at accolades. Like Jokic is pretty comparable with the first couple of years of his career, and for the next 5-6 years, whatever, 3-4 of his prime, like he can only get more and more accolades. So I think that conversation that will kind of get shorter and shorter. I don't know. I think I'll probably have Kareem up there for a long time. I'll probably have Shaq and Hakeem up there for a long time. Same with Bill Russell. I think I put him up on his legacy. But I think as far as Wilt and I think as far as David Robinson go, I could see Jokic potentially surpassing one or both of them.
I can see him passing Wilt. I can see him passing David Robinson. I can probably see him passing Bill Russell. I don't see him passing Hakeem, Shaq, or Kareem. I don't think he get into that top 3. I think those are untouchable almost because first of all, Hakeem, like you said, does on the both ends. Hakeem was one of the best defenders in NBA history. Also, in I want to say like 1995 or 1994, he had a historic run. They only lost like 2 or 3 games when he went to the finals.
I think.
Huh?
60. That was like the year they won it. They were 62.
No, I'm not talking about the year. I'm talking about the year. I think they won. They won it where they only lost a couple games. Let me go.
Because they won it in 94 and 95.
Yeah.
And one of the years they were a 6 seed.
Let me go look. Houston. Whatever. I'm not even going to specifically, but yeah, Hakeem. I can't move him over him because his defense impact. And Hakeem is one of the best offensive. He's a great offensive player as well. He's not. I think Jokic is obviously probably a better offensive player than him because all the stuff he can do. But Hakeem is literally the best defender in NBA history, in my opinion. So that's why he would not be over him for me. Shaq is the most dominant center ever. So he's not going to be over there for me. Kareem is second in all-time scoring. Crazy NBA careers. Well, you got a whole bunch of Finals MVPs, MVPs.
He's got 2 Finals MVPs, 2 rings, I think. But he's got more than 2 rings. But I think he's got 2 Finals MVPs. He's got a bunch of regular season MVPs. think he's
Yeah, he
got
got
like
a bunch of
6.
regular season MVPs. I think he got like he either got. I'm blanking, but
Yeah,
it's
let
either
me see.
four or
Let me see.
four. Is
Let
it
me see.
four
He's got more than 4, I think.
rings? I'm talking about. He has six.
Uh,
He has 6 regular season MVPs.
he does have 6.
Yeah, he has 6 regular season MVPs.
I think he's got 3 or 4 rings.
No, he has way more than 3. He has. It's closer to like somebody.
Yeah, 6-time finals or 6-time champ, 6-time MVP.
Yeah,
I didn't know he had 6. Yeah, that's crazy.
he got 6 rings. He got 6 rings, and he got 6 regular season MVPs.
2-time finals MVP. Yeah.
You hear that?
What?
Anyways, so yeah, I don't think he probably won't touch. He won't touch. He won't touch Kareem. He won't touch Shaq. He could probably. I'm not gonna lie. He might touch Shaq. He might touch Shaq.
I don't know. Like we are like first of all, we're talking a long time in the future.
Yeah.
Like this is the whole Wemby debate, right? Like we can't talk
Yeah.
about Wemby's career before he's even stepped on it, right? Like Jokic still has a long career ahead of him, bearing injuries, right? Like he still has a long career ahead of him. He will be fine, but at the same time we've never seen a offensive player like Jokic before. We've seen the domination of Shaq, right, with how big of a body he is, but like we aren't seeing the stuff that Jokic is doing, right? Like if you put Jokic, I think in those Chamberlain Russell days, like it'd be insane, right? Seeing a guy of Bill Russell size command the ball and run the offense like Bob Cousy. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy to think of that like way back then.
Bob Cousy is crazy.
I'm just saying the best point guard back then was Bob Cousy or Jerry West. So like he could do it all, right? So it's like it's a completely different era. We keep talking about different eras. That's the one bad thing about the NBA is like it is constantly changing, but we still compare these players, right, to each and every era. So it's tough, but I do think like Jokic is just one of a kind player. Just gonna be like for the next couple of years, like what player he's like LeBron and like the way that players obviously get better around him, right? He elevates them obviously with the way he plays basketball, with the way he runs the offense. Not all players can do that. You have like I think some players like it was like can Jokic or not Jokic? Do you see were you watching the Paul George podcast? Do you watch that at all?
I've seen it a few times. Yeah.
You see Jerry West hopped on there?
I didn't see that, but I saw he had him on there. I just didn't see him like.
So Jerry West made a comment like he doesn't know if Giannis is the type of player to like it's like make everyone around him better, right?
I mean, sort of, kind of.
Like you know what I mean? Like whatever. He doesn't have that type of like play stat.
Yeah.
Jokic does, right? Like Jokic can incorporate everyone to the offense. Jokic can, right? Like it's like LeBron, where like just the ball movement, the playmaking is just like Jokic can command an offense, right? Like Jokic can make cuts, like he sees things without like anybody else seeing them, right? Like the stuff. It was like an interview I saw with Mike Malone, where Malone coached LeBron in 07, right? And now he coaches Jokic, and it was like similar play styles as far as like calling out mid-game audibles, right? Mid-play audibles, trying to read what the defense is doing before they do it, right? Like that kind of like basketball brain that Jokic has. Like we've never seen a big man with that kind of brain. You know what I mean? Like super, super original. So I'm going to be excited for the next couple of years. Obviously seen him play at this high level for the past 3-4 years, but I think Denver could, if they put the right pieces around him. And we'll talk about that later about what pieces need to go or stay. But yeah, it was obviously like, it was just a dominant finals run. So we can't take that away from him.
That's what I want to hop into next match. Can the Nuggets be a dynasty? Like, do you actually think they could be a dynasty? Because I feel like, me personally, I feel like the Nuggets can be a dynasty. I know this on their first ring, so this will be jumping the gun a little bit. But Nikola Jokic is only 28. Jamal Murray is only 27. Aaron Gordon is, I think, 26. MPJ is 24. So, like, this team could be together for a long time. As long as they keep the money together, they keep rotating pieces and stuff like that. This team can be together for a long time. It can be very good. They're very young. The money is kind of, MPJ is making $35 million in the next couple of years. So it's like he may have to go, but like the core of Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon, those players can sit together for a long time. This can be a dynasty. Like you always start asking that question after maybe 2, but factor in their age, this is why you think they can be a dynasty. And next year, the West is wide open once again. LeBron is getting older. Stephen Curry is getting older. KD's getting older. These players are young, and I feel like that's why I think that's why these players are young. That's why I think this team could be a dynasty in the future. This team can be good for a very, very long time. People were comparing them to like the younger days of Golden State, and that's what they compared them to.
Yep. I think I said that earlier on.
Yeah.
I don't remember when. I think it was during the Lakers series, but I was like, this team definitely reminds me of it. Just in the case of like Basketball's been good, right? It's been okay, but like they have a history, right? They've had good teams in the past, they've had good players in the past, but like they get behind this young, right? They get behind their young up and coming superstar. They've built it through the draft. They've played well, right? And to be honest, they could be so much better, right? They had Rudy Gobert, they had Donovan Mitchell. They traded them both, right? So you see Utah flourishing, right? They get these two superstars that they got from Denver. So you're thinking you lost your stuff, but they still drafted MPJ, Jokic, Jamal Murray, Christian Braun. They bring in a guy like Aaron Gordon, right? Which honestly, he was playing well in Orlando, right? He was supposed to be the number one guy, but the role he took on here, like, is gonna elongate his career for a while, right? Like, with how he's playing in Orlando, I don't think it could have kept up for people to keep giving him a big contract and keep having to come back. But Aaron Gordon, like, can now play for a long time because people see him as a defensive. I mean, like this playoff run, like Loki cemented him as like a defensive. He's a defensive stopper. He stopped three. I wouldn't call Jimmy an all-time great scorer, but two all-time great scorers, and Jimmy Butler, who's an all-star level scorer, and in the NBA right now. I mean, he played well. Yeah, I'm not gonna hate on Jimmy. He played well. He played good. But yeah, I know the entire season, not just this playoff run, not just Game 5, but he played okay. Yeah, but I think like these pieces they have, I was just gonna run off the ages. Jokic is 28, Jamal Murray is 26, MPJ 24, Aaron Gordon 27. The oldest core player is KCP and he's 30. Bruce Brown's 26, Christian Brown 22. I know you like Peyton Watson, he's 20. Like Jeff Green's 36, Ish Smith is 34, right? Like I get they're on the team, they're playing big minutes, but they're not super vital. But yeah, like this team could stay. I think the big issue is MPJ's contract. I would rather keep guys like Christian Brown and Bruce Brown than MPJ right now with the contracts, right? Obviously, if you can keep MPJ, great. But paying 35, 38, $40 million a year in the last 3 years of his contract is tough. Christian Brown, Bruce Brown had very valuable minutes in the finals, played consistent, played good defense. If they don't get contracts, they will get paid this offseason. Like, it's not really like they will get paid. Like, they played very good this playoffs. So I think you want to keep that culture. Everyone's talking about the Heat culture. Denver's got a culture going. So I think you want to keep this team together. You want to keep this core. What they did with OKC and the picks, you want to keep drafting how you've been drafting, right? You've drafted well in the past. You've shown that. You've developed your players very well. So keep doing that. Like, they'll be fine. I think, like, you have your Steph Curry and Jokic, right? You have your prime Klay Thompson and Jamal Murray. I'm not going to say Aaron Gordon was on Draymond Green's level yet. I don't think – okay, fine. Jamal Murray's not at Klay Thompson's level yet. That's fine. I agree. Offensively, I don't think he's there yet as prime Klay Thompson. But, like, I mean, maybe –
I'm not saying that. I was talking about Draymond Green.
Yeah,
but
they don't have a Draymond Green
I think
yet.
Klay Thompson is pretty overrated. Well, not you know what I mean. He wasn't that.
He's a better scorer than Jamal Murray
Yeah.
Klay Thompson was a better scorer in 2015, 2016. 2017 then it kind of just goes down. But
yeah, but Jamal Murray is a way better playmaker.
Is Denver have better role players though than Golden State did?
No.
Golden State had Iggy. They had Sean Livingston.
They had a whole. They have an influx of role players like coming in and out every. Like, whether it was Andrew Wiggins or it was
Andrew, I don't like that. Andrew Wiggins was not a role player. He played very well in that 2020.
He was a role player still, though.
No, he was not.
I mean, he made the All-Star game, so I guess he made the All-Star game.
I would not call him a role player. Like, I'm putting him on the same level as, like, he's above Aaron Gordon. He's like above Aaron Gordon level.
Aaron Gordon's a role player.
That's what I said. He's not there.
Okay,
I'm not gonna throw him
Wiggins
on Jamal Murray's level, but he was putting up similar production on the defensive side of the ball. What he was lacking with Jamal Murray offensively, he was picking up defensively.
Like, yeah, I'm not trying to downplay Andrew Wiggins.
Andrew Wiggins played very well in that 2022
impact on the game, but yeah, he was still a role player to me. Yeah, though. I think as far as Dynasty though, the one thing that's big for that Dynasty though is that the West is gonna be wide open for years, and they have aging superstars that on the best teams. Kawhi is getting older, LeBron is getting older, AD is always injured, Stephen Curry's getting older, KD is getting older. Like, that's why I think this team could be a dynasty, because they are in the West where it's wide open right now. They're very young, and all these other players on the best teams are older, so they're gonna have that opportunity to be here for a long time, like probably the next 5 to 10 years.
I was gonna say the same thing. I agree with that, but also the young stars are not getting like surrounded in good teams, right?
Yeah.
Luka, we've seen Anthony Edwards. I
Right.
still don't know what's going on in Minnesota. Devin Booker, right? They're trying to put competent teams around him, but that's not working. Obviously, everything going on in Memphis, like this team seems to be like the only organization who can competently put a good team around a young superstar, right?
Yep.
Like we look at that. I think Boston's the only other team that's kind of been doing it, but they just lost. So I think like as far as it goes, they have a perfect mix of youth, a trajectory. Like, yeah, they're set for the future.
Yeah, they just got to keep the role players together. I think KCP is a very vital part of the team. He's only 30 years old. I don't know how many players are going to be able to bring him back, though, because once that Michael Porter Jr. Contract kicks in, it's going to get tough.
I think
With the new CBA,
KCP's expendable just because he's old. I think that's the only reason.
He's not really old. 30's not old. I'm not going to lie.
But for that basketball team, if you're looking at all your players and you have to pay a 32-year-old $15 million, I don't think you do it.
Yeah, I don't know because KCP wasn't good, but he was more reliable than MPJ. MPJ was bad in the finals.
I agree.
Game 5, he had a good game though. But you just don't want to pay MPJ $35 million. So you can move out that contract. I would, because the new CBA and they're not really a taxpaying team, which they will have to become a taxpaying team, to deal with all of that influx of money. I just think it's gonna hurt them in the long run. So that's why they're trying to move up picks now to draft well. They draft well in the back end, so they can continue to do that and bring in quality role players, find diamond in the roughs, kind of like the Spurs did when they were being a dynasty. They find diamonds in the rough to bring off the bench, undrafted free agents like the Miami Heat does. You can do stuff like that. You can continue to be a championship level team without having to spend so much money, without having to break up. Keeping the cores together well would be instrumental, and if they'd be a dynasty or not.
We can't sit here and act like that's an easy thing, though.
No, it's not. Of course, it's not. It's not.
We can't sit here.
We talk about it like it's way easier than it is, but that's insanely hard to do. The Warriors even struggle with that, trying to bring in when they got James Wiseman, Moody, all them people when it didn't work out.
I thought that team was going to be scary for the future, right? Mm-hmm. Bringing in Moses Moody, Kuminga, and Wiseman, and obviously Moody played some decent minutes in the playoffs, but Kuminga and Wiseman still haven't hit it yet. So
that's interesting though. But we have 2 would you rather's. I think we might do 2. No, you're not gonna do Jokic. We're gonna do a would you rather for Jamal Murray. So Max, I'll give you the reins, and you go ahead and take that.
All right. So I got 6 players. Okay.
Do the
I'm just
okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
All right, we're gonna do a would you rather with Jamal Murray. So I got 6 players that we're gonna go over. I'll ask you, would you rather have whoever, and we'll talk about it. Yep. So first off, James Harden or Jamal Murray.
I'm going with James Harden. I feel like in the regular season In the regular season, he led the league in assists. He had a very good regular season, back bounce regular season. He had a bad playoff run, but at the time being, I'm still gonna go James Harden because of his production in the regular season. So yes,
I think it's close, but I still will go James Harden. Jamal Murray had an amazing playoff run, right? Like I don't think you like to hate on Harden's playoff performances. I don't hate on him as much, but I don't think Harden's had a playoff run quite like this, right? Like shooting very well, beating good teams. But again, the roles are different, right? Harden's calling as a number 1, Murray's calling as a number 2. So I understand. I agree. I would still go Harden, but I think it's close. Anthony Edwards or Jamal Murray. I'll go first on this one. I just want to end it. Anthony Edwards. We can move on to the next one. I think Anthony Edwards is a better player. Did more with the worst team. Jamal Murray has never averaged more than 21 points in the regular season in his career. And I get it's because he's number 2, but people on Twitter or whatever, people we know will say that regardless, he's still whatever. That doesn't matter that he was Jokic's number 2. What were we talking about? In the I lost my head. That who couldn't fill the role as Jokic's number 2? Like Jamal Murray is.
He said Trae Young couldn't.
Huh? So I'm just saying like. People on Twitter and stuff are valuing like a one.
You're overvaluing number 2 over 1.
A number 1 player on a whatever playoff team as the same thing as Jamal Murray putting up his production on number 2 on this team. Correct. Sorry, I couldn't get that out. So I will value Anthony Edwards' production over this production. I think you slide Anthony Edwards on this team, it can make them so much more dynamic. But besides the point, I would take Anthony Edwards over Jamal Murray.
I'm gonna go Anthony Edwards too, just because I feel like he's better on the defense end. He's a better scorer as well, so that's all it really is. I think he's a better player than Jamal Murray.
Tyrese Halliburton or Jamal Murray?
Jamal Murray, clear. He's better than Tyrese Halliburton.
Tyrese Halliburton's too young. He hasn't done enough yet. Jamal Murray, even though the regular season hasn't been amazing, he's played all-star level player. he's still been playing better than Tyrese Halliburton. Showed more in the playoffs. So Jalen Brunson.
I'm going to go with Jalen Brunson. I think in the playoffs, he really stepped up. In the regular season, he averaged 24 points per game while being the second option. In the playoffs, he averaged 31 points against Miami as a number one option again. So I think he can be. I think Jalen Brunson is better than Jamal Murray. I think so. Yeah, I'm gonna go Jalen Brunson.
Um, I need Jalen Brunson to sustain this for at least another year or two. Before I can say it yet, I think Jalen Brunson was great this year, but just because Jamal Murray has done this twice, right? He's had 2 playoff runs where he's played like this. You have the bubble, you have this. He was injured last year. I get it. He's still like I know he hasn't averaged over 22. We talked about that. Jamal Murray's only done that one time. So Jalen Brunson's only done that one time. I need him to do that another time. I need him to continue on this production before I can say it. I've seen more production from Jamal Murray, so I'm gonna pick Jamal Murray.
Wait, hold on. Last year in the playoffs, he was good. He was great too with the Mavericks. It wasn't Jamal Murray great, but he averaged like 20 high, like 25 against the
I
Utah
get you, but
Jazz.
he just came out of what do you have? He just came onto the scene like in the past year and a half. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Brunson, what he averaged? Let's see. I think he averaged 16, 17 last year.
Yeah, I guess.
He averaged 9, 8, 12, 16, and then 24 this year. So I get it. He's coming into a number one role now, so he gets the ball more, right? He's going to show what he can do more. Jamal Murray has done this twice in the playoffs, though, so I will give him the nod. I think Anthony Edwards, right? He's new. He's up and coming. He's young, right? But he's shown that he can be this top guy, right? Jalen Brunson is still not showing to me that he can be this. I put Anthony Edwards over Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson still has more to show me, I think, before I could put him over Jamal Murray right now.
My last thoughts on Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson had a better regular season than him, and in the playoffs,
Jamal Murray.
Jalen Brunson had a better regular season than Jamal Murray, and also in the playoffs he elevated to like a high level. And against Miami, he averaged 31 points per game. So that's why I'm choosing Jalen Brunson.
I get you. And again, we're looking at it in different roles, right? Jamal Murray was the number 2. Jalen Brunson was the number 1 on a pretty sorry Knicks team. I'm sorry. The Knicks team they made the playoffs, but still a lot of work to go. So like he made do with a lot.
Yeah.
Next one, Jrue Holiday or Jamal Murray?
Jamal Murray clear. I think he's better than Jrue Holiday.
I think the defensive side of the ball helps out Jrue Holiday a lot, but I'll still take Jamal Murray as well. And the last name, which I don't know why it's a conversation, Trae Young or Jamal Murray?
Trae Young is obviously better than Jamal Murray. He led his team to East Conference Finals as the number 1 option, so that's why it's clear for me. Trae Young.
I would take Trae Young as well. He's a better offensive player, better playmaker, better shooter. So,
yep. All right, moving on from the Nuggets talk, we got what next from Miami. Obviously, AFC play-in game, lost your first play-in game, made it all the way to the finals with Jimmy Butler at the helm for the second time. Did it in 2020. Done it again 3 years later in 2023. So what's next for them? I mean, you kind of got to be happy you made this far, but it's still kind of disappointing because it's the second time you made it to the finals and you lost. I think 2020 was in 6 games. Wasn't kind of close. It wasn't close to be honest. This time it really wasn't close. So it's like you're making it to the finals. You're getting past through the East, but when you get to the Western Conference, you aren't close to the teams. You're not close. They weren't close to the Lakers. Even helped. I don't think it would have been a series. This year against the Nuggets, it wasn't close. Even if Tyler Hero would have played, I don't think it still would have been close. So it's like, what's next for them, Max? Like, what do you want them to do in the offseason to improve their team?
I think it's tough because I don't think Dame's the answer. As much as everyone wants to say Dame's the answer, I don't think Dame is the answer for that team. I don't think Dame, as we talked about in the finals recap video, I don't think Dame wins them the finals this year. I don't think Dame wins them the finals in 2020. I think they got to look towards another option. I know you talked about Bradley Beal. I don't hate it. It's just still a lot of money going towards Bradley Beal. If you can try and go cheap, that's the best possible way. But yeah, they're in a tough spot because they have so much money locked up with guys like Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, and Bam. So they can't be as expendable as they'd like to. I think as far as the market goes, if there was one person I'd be cool with James Harden on that basketball team. I would like James Harden to go to Miami as a certified scorer. I know in the playoffs, you're going to be scared because Jimmy and James Harden have both shied away in the playoffs before. But I think having James Harden on that team when all they needed was a bucket this playoffs, sometimes they could not score a basket. I think having James Harden would be very helpful. whether that's a score point or literally just gets the foul line. I think as far as I'm not going to say it's the cheapest option because you have to spend a lot of money to get there. You could try and work out a sign and trade with Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia would be more than happy to take Tyler Hero because they're going to lose him for nothing. So I think they will want something in return for him. I think you could put a package together to get James Harden. I think James Harden and Jimmy Butler would work well together. I like James Harden and Bam Adebayo in the pick and roll.
I'm not gonna lie, Max. James Harden does not put you over the top at all. Not at all. Not even close.
No, I
don't think James Harden, Bam Adebayo, and Jimmy Butler is not the championship favorites. I wouldn't even pick them over the Celtics.
I'm not saying they're favorites, but I think it's better than Boston.
I'm not honestly, bro. Honestly, even though Boston lost this year, I still wouldn't pick that team over them. To be honest, it depends on what the team looks like.
I'll pick Miami over Boston. I don't pick. I will take a healthy Milwaukee in a 7-game series. Not Giannis gets injured midway through. I'll take a healthy Milwaukee. But I think that team is good. I think that could be a 2-3 seed.
Whatever Miami does this offseason, they need to get a better scoring option than Jimmy Butler. I think that whether it is Kyrie Irving, whether it's Zach LaVine, whether it's Bradley Beal, whether it's Damian Lillard. Huh?
You think those 3 guys propel them over the top?
No, but they still need to get a better. They still need to get a better option.
So why would you not go?
Huh? James Harden is not the answer either. My point is, whatever the Heat do this offseason, they need to get a better. No, let's not say better. Whatever the Heat do this offseason, they need to get another scoring option. Whether it's Zach LaVine, Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard, anybody, just another scoring option to help Bam and Damian Lillard. To help Bam and Jimmy Butler score, because too many times this playoffs run, they got trash on offense. They just couldn't create offense, and then I think. As much as I say Tyler Hero was trash in the playoffs, which he was, he would have helped a little bit because he wouldn't have to play Max Strus, I guess, and Duncan Robinson, people like that. But they just need another scoring option. I don't know who that's going to be, but it has to be someone. Zach LaVine is available. Damian Lillard is available. James Harden is available, I guess. Kyrie Irving. Somebody that's a better scoring option than Jimmy Butler. I think he should be the second scoring option on the team. I think Bam should be the third scoring option on the team. And that's your formula to win a championship. I'm not going to pick you guys to win it, but I think you have a better chance than what you did have this year. So that'll be what's next for me for the Miami Heat going into next season. I think, I don't know, because Caleb Martin played his way into like a better contract, even though he's not due for one until next year. But
who are you keeping on that roster? Because there's only so many role players you could play, right? Or pay. You already paid Duncan, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin.
I don't know. It's
Kyle
weird.
Lowry's got to go. Kyle Lowry, isn't he still getting one more year, $30 million?
Yeah, he has to go. He definitely has to go. You shouldn't be paying Kyle Lowry $30 million at his age. I think he's like 36, 37, something like that. Going into next year, so he's looked to move him. I think the best option is going to get Dame. I'm not going to lie. Trade Nikola Jokic, trade Tyler Hero, trade Kyle Lowry to Portland. Have them rebuild and
how many picks
in there as well? 2 or 3.
That's what I'm like. I'm sorry. I still don't think that propels you over the top. So if you could trade,
Dame is the best option for a championship. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. I would rather trade Hero and 1 first than 3 first. Hero, Jovic.
Damian Lillard is a much better player than James Harden at this stage in his career. I'm not gonna lie. He is.
But that still doesn't propel you over the top. So why are you losing on your first round picks if you know damn well it's not gonna work? You know what I'm
saying? No. I mean, it wouldn't be impossible for them to win with Damian Lillard. Like that wouldn't be. They would be a championship favorite. Correct. They wouldn't be my pick to win, but they would be a championship favorite.
I don't know. I don't know. I think Dame's a better player than James Harden, but for some reason I like James Harden's fit on that team better than I like Dame's. Even though they're very similar players, they can score the basketball. But
not similar. But I wouldn't. At this point in his career, James
Harden
Harden
is not similar players. James Harden.
At this point in his career, James Harden is strictly a playmaker. His second. Damian Lillard's first thing is score, and second thing is playmake. It's the opposite with James Harden. That's why they're not similar players to me. So
I think they're similar players because offensively they're like their game is offense. I get you.
Yeah, I mean you saying they can't play defense. That's you can say that about everybody. But you're similar because they can score and they can't play defense.
No, I think of them as score first guys. I get you saying because Harden
is definitely not a score first. He is not a score first guy anymore.
I think because he had Joel Embiid on his team.
Bro, he wasn't a score first. I mean, so we haven't seen him be a score first since Houston. He's not a score first guy anymore.
Because he was the number one guy in Houston. Then he goes to Brooklyn, where his number one guy is
I don't think on Miami. I don't think Miami.
Philly. Where's the boys guys?
He's
Joel
lost
Embiid.
a considerable amount of bursts. He can't finish around the rim as nearly as good as he used to. I don't need to score for his guy anymore.
If you put Damian Lillard on that Philly team, you cannot lie and tell me that his role would not change.
No, he would be the number one scoring option. I don't. He would.
No, that's not true. Stop.
Yes, he would. Jimmy
It.
Butler is not a better scorer than him. Why would he not be the number one?
No, I said Philly. I said Philly.
Who?
I said Dame.
Oh, Dame. Oh, yeah.
Dame went to Philly. You can't lie and say his role would not change.
I mean, obviously, yes. But he wouldn't be I don't think he'd be a playmaker though. He would be a score for his guy.
I don't know. I think
he would not. He's not even that good of a playmaker to do that. James Harden has always been a level of playmaker. But so for me, Damian would be a score for his guy. But that's hypothetical. Yeah. So Miami, I think they need to upgrade their bench. I don't think their role players are good enough. They're not, bro.
Role players just carried them to a finals appearance.
Yes, but I still think the bench is not good enough.
Much better
the bench is not good enough. The bench is still not good enough, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You can't rely year out on Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent to get you to the finals every year. We've seen that they flamed out again in the finals again, bro. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, and Duncan Robinson were all inconsistent this entire playoff run. Caleb Martin did not show up for the finals at all. So you cannot rely on those players to play well for you for an entire playoff run, every single playoff run. So I don't know.
I don't blame those guys. They're not called upon to.
I'm not saying they should be doing that.
I think like if you had a number one scorer, if you put Luka on that Heat team I think is a better, like significantly better chance of winning. Obviously, because Luka's better than Jimmy, but Luka will score, right? Like Luka, I think Luka will perform, right? You're not going to be worried about, oh, is he going to score 20 points tonight? I think he'll, like, you know what I'm saying? Like Jimmy's scoring. I think him not scoring pushes more upon those role players and like obviously puts more pressure on them. So I think if you switch, I think the issue is more top heavy. I don't think it's their bench because you saw when they needed to show up, they showed up, right? There were games there were games where they wouldn't do that, but they don't have to do it every time because they are role players, right? You're not looking for them to pick up the pieces every single time you fall. I think your top guy, whether it is Jimmy or whether it is a number two, I think that's the bigger issue because you need someone night in, night out to, okay, this guy's going to give me 30, right? This guy can give me 30, 25, 28, 40 points a game, right? And Jimmy's just turned into maybe not that guy, right? He's a leader in the locker room. He plays defense. He can do other stuff. But, like, that's why I don't hate the Bradley Beal deal as much if he was cheaper because you just need him to score the basketball. That's why I like James Harden. First of all, he can incorporate the entire offense with him, but he could score the basketball. So, I don't know. I think the issue is more top heavy. I don't agree that it's completely completely with the bench.
Yeah, I think another. I mean, getting another scoring option is just the move this year. The bench is the bench. I mean, you got production from undrafted players for this long. Who's to say you can't do it again? But they will have to gut that team a little bit as far as assets, as far as like Nikola Jokic, who's still has some promise coming up in the NBA. So you have to trade him to get Dame.
Do you have a free agent you want to bring in if you're the Miami Heat?
Dame. That's the only option.
No, not like
they're not gonna have the money.
A free agent bench signing, someone low key who you want to bring in, because it's an obvious answer.
Who are you talking about, bro?
You need a backup center because Cody's of course, I'll be playing big minutes.
Of course,
you need to bring a backup center.
Biz might be Biombo or somebody like that.
I don't want Biombo because then you have two undersized centers.
Who do you want?
I was gonna say Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez is gonna be asking for a bag.
What do you like? I'm saying they're not gonna have any money, so
make sure
it's not your options limited. That's why I said Biz might be Biombo, JaVale McGee or something. I don't know. He's not a free agent though. I don't think. So, I'm actually muted, by the way. You're muted.
I don't know why that touched. Andre Drummond. Laugh at me all you want. You can get boards.
I guess, bro. He sucks. He's not that good on defense, though.
All right, resign Kevin Love. Resign Kevin Love.
Yeah, but he didn't help this year as far as the size.
Let Cody Zeller go.
Yeah.
Dwight Howard. Bring him back. All
right, we got an NBA Finals quiz. Obviously, Nikola Jokic won it this year. He will not be on the quiz, but we all acknowledge that he won it this year. Great run for him. But we have an NBA Final quiz going back all the way to 2022. We're going to try to guess every single NBA Finals MVP since 1968. All right, let me share my screen. Let's get it going. 1 second. Can you see, Max?
Yes.
Let me get all these out of the way. I hate these ads. All right, let's start it. 10 minutes on the timer.
Just get Jordan, Curry, LeBron. Get those guys out of the way.
Curry, James. Let's just do Durant. In 2019 it was Leonard,
Duncan, Bryant,
Bryant, O'Neal. 3 in a row. Jesus, Shaq. Um, yeah, Miami Heat 2006 D Wade.
Magic Johnson. Sorry, I'm trying to think of getting big guys out of the way.
It's gonna be very fairly easy, to be
Oh
honest.
yeah, Dennis Johnson in '79.
You okay? Never mind.
Yeah, no, Dennis Johnson. Yeah, Seattle.
Kareem is not gonna show up, I guess.
Just do no. It's Abdul Jabbar, ABDUL, and then it's we got a hyphen. It's two B's, two B's. No, Jabbar, two B's.
You were clear.
Abdul, not it's just DUL.
Anyways, we got Detroit Pistons. That's Chauncey Billups.
Giannis.
Then Iguodala. I don't know how you spell that.
IGUO. DALA. ALA. ALA.
Man, Dallas Mavericks Dirk.
NOW. ITZKI.
All right, in 2008 we got Kevin. No, that's Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce, Tony Parker.
Oh, 7 we got Tony Parker. Oh, we got every year. We got a lot of years.
Olajuwon.
Bro, why could you put?
Yeah, no. OLAJUWON.
UWON.
Yep.
We got Oh wait, don't tell me this is Thomas, Isaiah Thomas. And one of them is
number 4 shooting guard.
I'm blanking on his name. I'm blanking on his name.
He was the GM for a while.
I know his name. I'm blanking on it, bro. It started with wait. Oh, Joe Dumars.
There you go.
Okay.
James Worthy. See one of them.
Yep. Boston Celtics 1986 is Bird.
Bird.
66. This is Malone.
Yeah, Moses Malone.
Boston Celtics 1981. This is McHale.
Robert Parrish.
Oh, so did Kevin McHale not win one?
All right, skip next one. Wes Unseld in '78.
Golden Trailblazers 1977. Walton.
Yep, Bill Walton.
Celtics is probably going to be.
That's a weird number. Rick Barry 75. Okay. Havlicek. Try Havlicek.
Bro.
HAVLICEK. Cool.
Boston Celtics in 1976. Bro, one of these has to be McHale.
No. When did McHale get drafted? Go with the Lakers. Jerry West.
This is the year he won it. He won it. He didn't win, huh?
Wilt Chamberlain. Is he this old, or is he this recent? I thought he was older.
No, he's older. And I don't know.
AIN. It's AIN.
Chamber.
LAIN.
Oh. New York Knicks is this Bernard King or?
No, he's too young. I'd say try Phil Jackson.
Oh wait, no.
Try Phil Jackson.
No. For the Knicks, no.
Phil Jackson. He played for the Knicks back then. He won a ring with them.
He wasn't the Finals MVP.
Try Willis Reed. Okay.
2 years.
Who is it for Boston?
1976.
Rick Carlisle was on that team, on one of those teams, I think, but he wasn't good. Bill Walton, I think, was on one of those teams, but he wasn't good. Dennis Johnson was on one of those teams. Bird, Parrish, McHale.
How do you spell McHale?
MCHALE. Yeah, you spelled it right. ALE.
Oh no, so 1976 is before Bird, I think. They had it. That was definitely before Bird. 1981 Boston Celtics. Who else did he play with, bro?
Who? Bird?
Yeah, I think this 1981 it was him. He didn't win it though. I think it was
He got drafted in 79, so this was his first.
yeah. I think this is brother. It got to be something like. Bro, I don't know. Some like power, like forward or something like that. Not a forward, nah. It's definitely probably a guard. What guards played in that time?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Brother. 2 years. 1981 Boston Celtics, 1976 Boston Celtics. I don't know this, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I can't think of anybody. Any Celtics greats.
All right, you wanna give up? I can't think of anybody.
All right, that's fine. All right, bro. What do you quit?
I give up.
All right, who you got? JoJo White and Cedric Maxwell. Never would have got. Come on, man. Never would have got that. I don't.
I've got either of them.
I've seen JoJo White like a few times, and Cedric
I've
Maxwell.
seen Cedric Maxwell a time or two, but I've not seen. I don't know.
I just blanked. I mean, that's pretty good though. 52 out of 54 with 3 minutes left. Gave up on it at the end, but I think that was pretty good for NBA Finals MVP quiz. That is going to end the episode though. That was the last topic of the day, I believe. We're gonna be back probably on Thursday with more NBA and NFL content. Congratulations to the Nuggets winning the NBA championship this year.
Wait. Are we gonna talk about the Pelicans?
We can wait for that for Jaden and them to come on because I don't want to talk about them about the Pelicans while Jaden doing so. Episode 32, another great episode, a lot of good conversation. Continue to support the podcast. We got 255 subscribers. Follow and subscribe to all of our social medias up there on the top, please. If you made this far, thank you guys for tuning in. If nothing else has to be said, we're gonna be out.
See you guys.